Yo, you're listening to All Elite Podcast. Boom.
And it is the worst podcast ever. We live! Ow!
Ricky Terry, Scorpio Sky, Baltimore Daniels, collecting SoCal Uncensored Or SCU.
This is Isaiah Cassidy. I'm Mark Quinn, and we're Private Party.
And this is the All Elite Podcast,
And you're listening to the All Elite Podcast.
which happens to be the worst podcast I've ever been on. SCU.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the All Elite Podcast right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host and owner and CEO of the No Holds Barred Network, Kyle Masters, and I'm always joined on this podcast by my co-host. She is the Executive Vice President of Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick herself, and the Queen of the Indies. Can't forget that one. Tiffany.
Like the main one, though.
That is the main one. You are the queen of the indies.
Queen.
Self-proclaimed queen of the indies, I guess. Because, you know, some other girl going to come up on you, be on that ish, and be like, nah, I'm the queen, bitch.
Oh, no. Those
What if
fight
that
words.
happens? What if that... I want to know your reaction if that were to happen.
New York. Do I need to say anything else? Like...
I don't know. Y'all from New York. That's it.
I'm on that ish. I'm on
Okay,
that
you win,
ish.
honey. I'm sorry.
No. No. Ew. No. Absolutely not. I don't know. That's we need to make a logo for it because, you know.
I'm working on it.
Did I tell you the story that I went to an indie show and one of the wrestlers, he's got his ass beat or whatever, and then I was like, where's my med kit? And then I was tweeting with him and he asked me if I would follow him to all the shows with the med kit.
You're the official indie med. You're the indie medic. The queen of the indie medics.
Oh my God, it's craziness going out there.
It is. And a lot of stuff going there, especially like the flu, which I had last week, which sucked. That was horrible. God, I even had to cancel. We had a Under the Ropes interview lined up with Alicia Tooth, and I had to cancel that because my voice just wasn't up for it, and I wasn't feeling 100%. God, that flu was bad, and it was scary because I got the flu when this coronavirus started going around and before it became a big uproar like it is now. So kind of like, you know, I was showing maybe like one of 12 symptoms, so I was I was okay. I didn't have it.
Yeah.
The funniest thing though,
I'm sick now.
Yeah, the funniest thing though is I was listening to like a local radio station, and they said that the number one Google search that has to do with the coronavirus is the coronavirus related to the Corona beer? And I'm like, are we that, like, come on, world.
There was
come
a
on,
meme,
people.
they changed the name for Corona beer because of virus. What a mess.
It's ridiculous. Like, some
there's
people
a lot
out
of people
there.
sick. There's a lot of people sick right now, so guys.
Some people out there, give your heads a shake. If you Googled that and you were serious about it, please just.
I need my head checked.
I think you might have the virus because I don't know what person with common sense Googles that. But anyways, guys, welcome to the All Elite Podcast, where myself and Tiffany talk about everything that has to do with that great AEW brand. We give you our Dynamite reviews each and every single week. We'll give you pay-per-view predictions and reviews when the time comes. And we just keep you guys up to date. What's going on in the AEW world. And we're fresh off the Jer Cruise episode last week, which was really cool. And we're back to normal now. We were in Cleveland this week, Jon Moxley's hometown. And we're back to normal on the road to Revolution, which is around the corner. Almost about a couple weeks away now. Almost 3 weeks away. So
trying to figure out what I'm doing for that. If I'm going to someone's house, if I'm going to a viewing party, am I throwing a viewing party? I don't know yet.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. It's around the corner. Other than that, not really much else going on that I've seen that has to do with AEW. I know there's been talks of Brody Lee possibly being in AEW, and there's talks maybe him debuting at the one I'm going to, AEW Rochester, which is his hometown. So you could see a debut by then. That's by the middle of March, so we'll see. There's just been a lot of rumors from a lot of independent talent out there that have been linked to AEW, so I have to keep our eyes peeled.
Yeah,
see what happens.
There's a lot going on.
I know people want to see Matt Hardy come over. Like he's just been cryptically tweeting about leaving, and people are just posting AEW crap all over the comment section. And I don't know. I'd love to see the whole broken thing in AEW, but I'm sure that WWE is going to do everything in their power to keep him and throw any kind of money at him to not come over to AEW. So we'll see. Other than that, one thing I thought was pretty cool was the Young Bucks have a new T-shirt coming out, and this is really, really cool. It's a eco-friendly T-shirt, and it says "Change the planet, be elite." It's got their new headband on like around the world.
I need the headband. I'm not gonna lie. I need the headband.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I love the way that. And this T-shirt is eco-friendly. It's made up of organic cotton and approximately 4 recycled bottles. That's what the T-shirt's made out of. How cool is that? Zero dye in it. There's 0 water usage. All profits are going to pureearth.org to change the planet as well.
Awesome. I love that they do all this charity work.
Mm-hmm. So that T-shirt right there. Get your T-shirts now, guys. Go over to shopaew.com and get that organic, eco-friendly T-shirt Young Bucks one. Change the planet. It says it right on it. Be elite. Be elite. Be elite.
Yeah, that's right, David. Mance Warner was backstage. That was the rumor going around. So I got excited when I saw that. I mean, I don't know, Kyle, are you familiar with him?
No.
I've seen him so many times in ICW. He's so good. Oh my God. Love him. Love. GCW. Oh my God. Love.
So he must have been in talks, I'm assuming.
Yeah. We'll see.
So it's exciting. It's exciting. Some new and fresh faces coming over to All Elite Wrestling. But other than that, nothing really much else going on. They haven't announced a new city either, so we'll see what happens. I know, Tiff, you're excited to go to New Jersey eventually, and I'm excited to head down to Rochester. I know there's a couple of our Twitter friends that are going to be in Rochester I'm going to be glad to meet up with. And
isn't it kind of sad that we're both leaving like our own place? Like, you have to leave Canada and I have to leave New York in order to go see them. Yeah. So it's like I'm not even getting it in like Brooklyn or Manhattan.
Which eventually they will. We know they will.
I'm just saying, it's kind of crazy.
We can't pass that opportunity.
You have to leave Canada and come to New York. And like, I can't even go to the one that Kyle's going to because it's like a 6-hour drive from me. Yeah,
it's only like an hour and a half for me.
I drive in 6 hours.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So no. I'm excited. I got some decent seats in the lower bowl. I'm excited to just, go for Dynamite. Dynamite.
All I know is my boys. Damn.
I had intro playing there for a second. My bad. I botched.
Botchamania. Yeah. I'm ready for Private Party. Mm-hmm. I hope that they do meet and greets by you, and I hope it's Private Party.
That's right. I forgot they do that meet and greet beforehand.
I hope for you that it's Private Party, and then you could slip my name.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys know Tiff, and they're gonna
You know, Tiff and Ray. That's it, and that's it. And then maybe you'll get some beads or something. Like, you know, it was funny. I was saying this earlier. I was looking at my shrine, and I was like, you know, it's funny. I said Isaiah's on my shrine. I was like, Isaiah threw me the beads. I was like, Isaiah's on my shrine. It's pretty awesome. So
awesome. So next week, it's also going to be a jam-packed show. Next week, they're going to be in Alabama. And we got some announced matches on Dynamite this week for that. And then the most important part next week, it's interesting how this happens so close to Valentine's Day and how kinky it is. We get the lashings next Wednesday. Those kinky lashes, so close to Valentine's Day. We're getting lashes on TV next week.
Wow, where's your mind?
Just saying, just... kinky, like they're even like 10 lashes. Like, why? I hope something happens where this just gets interrupted and we don't get to see this. Like, I don't want to see this. It's weird. It's weird.
I don't know.
That's what we're getting next week, though, in Huntsville, Alabama. That's the worst. That's the first thing we're getting. Next, we're getting Moxley versus Ortiz.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this. Let's go.
This should be an interesting match. We saw this week their little altercations that's leading to a one-on-one match with these two. I think it's going to be a very good match. Going to be a very intense, very physical type of match. Another cool match we're getting next week is Britt Baker is going to face off against Yuka Sakazaki.
Seen her in a while.
I haven't seen her in a while, but she's going to be there and she's going to face this new face of Britt Baker we're getting. We got some of this week, which we'll get into. And last but not least, a jam-packed 6-man or 8-man tag team match. So we have the Elite coming back together. Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, Matt and Nick Jackson. Going to be interesting to see how Hangman gets along. But they're going to be facing the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers.
This is going to be a crazy match. I'm actually really excited for this.
This is going to be a jam-packed, spot-filled match. I'm just going to be interested to see how Hangman deals in this match.
Hold my beer. Oh, God. I saw, on Twitter, not Twitter, on Instagram.
Ooh, on the Insta.
On the Insta.
Yeah, make sure you follow Ollie Podcast on Instagram at OlliePod.
I think it was Hangman Page that posted the clip of him having Matt hold his beer. And then Matt commented, and he goes, I don't drink beer. I know, Matt's not, on Twitter anymore, but he is on Instagram. So I was laughing when I saw that. I was like, that's funny.
It's funny. You should have told me to clip that. I would have clipped it.
Oh, well. Sorry.
Shame.
You don't
really go. I even know. I'm ashamed myself because I don't know where the bell went.
Go on Instagram, so shut up.
I know I don't. I don't Insta.
Tiffany Insta.
Tiffany Instas. I don't Insta. Is that what it's? Is that how you say it?
No.
Do you Insta? I don't know. I don't Insta. I don't Insta.
Hey, can I get that Insta?
Hey.
You know, it's funny. I went to the bar.
Want to be a follower? I'll follow you.
I was at the bar the other day watching the viewing party, and people were coming up to me. They're like, "Are you on Insta?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm giving you my Instagram."
There you go. So that's Insta. That's the way to say it.
I should have just given the All Elite Podcast one, so I don't get to creep my DMs.
Yeah, that's me.
You're Kyle is a creeper in my DMs.
Oh, wait, were we talking about my answer today? Do you?
No, just in general. Oh Lord!
I ain't no creeper.
You're a creeper.
Join the Dark Order.
I was gonna say that you need to join the Dark Order.
Anywho, Rihu. Before we get into this week's Dynamite episode, we'll go over the tweet of the night that we chose. And tweet of the night was by our pal Jeff M. At Jeff Maggio. That guy with the Jon Moxley picture. His tweet, my opinion, this has got to be one of the best episodes of Dynamite yet. Definitely more to come. Rock and roll emoji, fire emoji at OlliePod. Thank you, Jeff, for that tweet. Yes, we definitely do agree. This was probably one of the best Dynamite episodes I think they've done. I thought it was really good. I was entertained throughout the whole thing. So I thought it was a pretty good episode.
Good. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was their best episode, but I think
one of the best.
Entertaining. There was a lot of entertaining spots in it.
I love the transition from like we started with one thing, and we ended with that one thing at the end of the episode. Like it transitioned really well. So I felt like it wasn't really rushed episode of Dynamite. All the matches got the time that they looked like they needed to get. It just it was very, very smooth episode of Dynamite this week. Oh God, is that Duffy in there? What's he doing? God, he needs a haircut.
Stop it! He does a haircut though. Yeah. He's staring. He wants to be on the camera. Damn, he's
Sorry,
like
Duff.
savage, man. He's like staring into my soul over there.
Duff's part of the Dark Order. She's like, join the Dark Order. Rough. Rough, yeah. Join Dark Order. Rough. Speaking in code.
That's great.
Anywho, Rihu. Let's talk about the show.
Let's do it.
And we opened up with none other than Jon Moxley. He speaks here in his home state. Huge reaction. Obviously, in his home state. He finally gets in the ring, gets on the mic. He talks about Revolution and his match with Chris Jericho, which is labeled as the main event now for Revolution, which is great. He calls Jericho a coward. He's the type of man that orchestrates 5-on-1 beatdowns. He says he's going to take that AEW World Championship from him, not win it, but take it. And then it's he drops this line. It's not about the man you are. It's about the man you're not. Ooh. And that can mean a few things there. But anywho, he knows that he's going to have to keep his one eye in the back of his head for the beatdowns that will probably come from Inner Circle until the pay-per-view. So why not settle this tonight? And he tells Jericho to get his ass out there and take his beating like a man. So Jericho does come out. So I was shocked that we actually got Jericho to come out here. I thought he was just going to appear on the screen. But he actually comes out, calls Cleveland a bunch of typical idiots. He says Moxley deserves a spike into the eye because he didn't join the Inner Circle and accept their offer. He says that he ran into Moxley's mother backstage and said she looked especially fetchy tonight, and that he's going to give her a call later.
I think like he cracked a little. You saw like laugh at the ring a little bit. Like I was dying.
What does that mean? You looked fetchy tonight. What does that mean? I've never heard that before. Hey girl, you look fetchy. Can I get your number? Or is that like an old school term? It's like, hey darling, you look especially fetchy tonight.
Oh.
I don't know. It's weird. I've never heard someone say, she looked fetchy tonight. Anyways, he teases the crowd that he's going to fight Moxley, but he doesn't do it, obviously. He says it doesn't go anywhere without his boys. And I think we got an Inner Circle new theme. We got like a new Titantron too. So they got a new theme. I didn't mind it.
I digged it.
I'm assuming it was made by our boy there, Rakus.
Yeah.
Rakus. He made the Revolution theme song too. He says, Moxley says that it's not going to be 5-on-1 because it's going to be 5 and Moxley with the rest of this crowd. Jericho says that he doesn't care about that, and they brought backup courtesy of his boys Santana and Ortiz, and he's like 5 randoms come out from I guess the Bronx. They're all like New York thug looking guys.
Yes, one of the 5 was an actual wrestler. The other guys were rappers. One was
rappers. Okay.
No, really. Like seriously, one was Joey Ace, and I actually tweeted at him on the All Elite Pod Twitter. I was all excited. I was like, "Hey, Joey Ace made it onto AEW Dynamite, and he liked it. He retweeted it, and he followed us." I was like, "Yes!"
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he's an indie guy.
So this is where the match for next week. This is where it started. Ortiz went at Moxley first. Bad idea. He gets like shit kicked and paradigm shifted on the ground there. Then Mox just goes head first right into the Inner Circle, and a big giant brawl ensues, and then it gets separated. And I think it was a pretty fire opening of Dynamite this week, and shows like Moxley's just not afraid, and he's going in with one eye against like 10 other people. He just doesn't care how many people are there. He's just gonna beat the crap out of anybody that moves. So it's making Moxley, they're building Moxley up to the pay-per-view. You see what they're doing here. So it's really, really good opening to Dynamite.
This was good, yeah. It got the crowd really hot and going, and
the crowd was
and,
good all night, like from start to
Yeah.
finish. They were hot, so it was great.
This is good storytelling.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And
I'm
then-
excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited. That match at Revolution is going to be very, very good. And it transitioned well. We transitioned into the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade. We got that video that they put on Twitter of how MJF hired them. I thought that was really well done. I loved that video. It was really cool.
How much money do you think was in the envelope?
I don't know. It was pretty thick. That was a thick stack.
Maybe it was Monopoly money.
Monopoly money. About the whole set. They just put the whole set in there.
Monopoly box, put all the money in it.
Because they didn't even open it. They just turned it around. They saw the Young Bucks like, okay, we're in. You don't even want to count it? Just, no, we're in.
This is something that like we've been talking about from the beginning, that we started seeing all these packages that they're so beautiful resolution, and it just, this is good storytelling.
They really well
so.
done. They have a really good team behind whoever does this.
Right.
So the Butcher and the Blade make their entrance with MJF, and then like throughout the whole picture-in-picture, we get MJF interacting with the crowd again. The MJF sign of the week, we got it. It's making its return. Was MJF stands when he wipes. I'm like, oh man, I see these signs. I don't know. I just crack up. Like they make me laugh so hard. They're good.
I love how he took the scarf from the fan and put it between his legs.
Oh
and
yeah.
It reminded me of like when I saw him at Create a Pro, and that he just pulled the scarf off the kid, and then he spit at the scarf and walked away.
Yeah, and he told Wardlow to go rip that one kid's sign up. So that was pretty cool too. It was I enjoyed that whole picture-in-picture thing, and he ended up on commentary, and then he was great on commentary during the Young Bucks entrance. He says he's like, they almost took my life by throwing me in that pool because I can't swim. But he did a very good job of like throughout the match of putting over Butcher and Blade on commentary. Like through that entire match, MJF was putting them over like very good, like a very good job of doing it. So I thought that was very well done to get the Butcher and Blade over like through TV, like the TV audience. It was a very good match. Both teams got their offense in. Both looked very good. Young Bucks ended up getting the exciting finish and hitting the Meltzer driver for the win. The Butcher, then they started the beatdown on the Young Bucks after the match. Kenny came from the save. It was pretty funny. So Kenny came for the save. And then Hangman slowly came in after. And this is what we were talking about earlier. He tells, was it Matt to hold his beer? And then he does the buckshot and then just leaves. He just leaves. Then he just grabs his beer back and leaves. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. See,
So-
these spots are funny. I know like I haven't really been behind the whole thing, but I mean things like this is just hilarious.
Yeah. So, so we that furthered that storyline of the deception between the Elite and Hangman. A lot of people still thinking it's going to lead to Hangman being the exalted one. I'm leaving on the fence. It's just Hangman being Hangman. He's just going to leave the Elite. I don't even know if he's going to leave the Elite. We don't know what's going to go down here. So
It could be like a twist. Conrad asks in the chat, I saw some people complain about Butcher and Blade losing. Thoughts on that? I mean, just like everything else, I feel like you can't win everything. I think they're a really solid team.
I understand where people were kind of complaining. This, I think maybe if the only thing I could agree with is if they wanted them to win to make them look better. I think MJF could have gone down to the ring and caused the Young Bucks to lose the match, and then they still could have done the beatdown after, like the whole thing where they did the beatdown.
You know the rumored card for
But we know,
that is supposed to be Kenny and Hangman versus the Young Bucks. That's the rumored card.
But the fact that the fact that they lost, but they did a good job. Again, like I was saying, they put them over on commentary, which helped with the loss. And they actually had a good match. They got a lot of offense in on the Young Bucks. It's not like the Young Bucks squashed them.
Yeah.
Like the Butcher and the Blade got a lot in on it. Like it was a very good match, and I think it didn't bury them.
No,
people
I don't
are
think
making it out to be a bury.
They lost this one. No, I don't think it was buried. I think it was a really good match. Like even like on paper, when you think about it, like it, I knew it was going to be a solid match.
Yeah.
strong team. I feel like other teams I'm not as invested into, but that's definitely one that I'm invested into. By the way, Jimmy did get his hat back that MJF did throw.
Oh, yeah?
The boat, because I asked them in the chat, did you get your hat back from MJF throwing it?
Okay, good. We're glad, Jimmy, you got your hat back. We're very worried. Like, we're legitly like concerned for your hat.
Million hats, he's fine. So
so we transition here. We had Nyla Rose versus Big Swole. I actually was excited for this because this had a potential to be before you even happened. Like, two strong women with strong attitudes going at it. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of potential before this match, and I thought this was a decent match. I think Swole looked very good in this match. It was a tough match for her, though.
I just hate that we got commercial during it, and I feel like we missed so many important parts.
Yeah,
I mean,
we didn't get a picture-in-picture. We had like a legit commercial.
I was kind of really mad about that, where when we got into the Cody match, that we were seeing Cody in picture-in-picture going into the crowd, which is great in the sense of, it's showing like how humble these guys are, that he's taking pictures and signing autographs. And that's great and that's cool, and I love seeing that. But like this bothers me that we didn't get picture-in-picture for this. We missed so much. At least with the picture-in-picture, we can still see what's going on. But I feel like we missed the whole. And it was a long commercial too. It wasn't even like a very short. It was a long commercial that we missed a whole bunch in this match. So I'm a little upset that we missed out a lot, because this was probably would have been a really decent match.
Mm-hmm. So for what we got, I thought it was a tough match for Swole because she was obviously the quicker one. Nyla, like, she really had to slow it down for Nyla, and you could tell like Nyla even got a little bit more fatigued than Swole did by the end of it, and Swole kind of had to like ease up a little bit. I know she wanted to go a little bit she wasn't going full speed even by the end of the match, and she had a lot in the tank left. Nyla ended up with the big finish with that powerbomb for the win. Keeping the number one contender strong. Obviously, they're mentioning that a lot throughout the match, that she was the number one contender, and they did make it, but with Swole making it tough for Nyla for the win. It wasn't an easy win for Nyla. It was a really tough win for her. So didn't make Swole look too weak at all, and I think she had a very good match, and she looks very good. So
she's really good,
and she's been appearing a lot more lately on TV. So I'm assuming they have a lot of faith in her. And if you're gonna build a women's division, you're gonna get it going. You need to build it with her.
Yeah, I mean, you have between Sheeta, Chris Statlander, and Big Swole, I think are your big names there, but. I was saying this last night to a bunch of people that I'm a little tired of seeing a lot of valets. I don't know if that bothers you. I'm curious. Like, let me know in the chat. I want to know what you guys think. But I think, I feel like every match somebody's coming out with somebody. And a lot of the women that you have really good, like Penelope Ford, right? Penelope Ford's really good in the ring. And I really hate that we're not seeing her in the ring. So, I mean, I don't know about it. Like, I mean, she's a beast. I mean, I've seen her so much in the indie scene. I mean, we've seen a little bit with her, but even like, where's Sadie Gibbs? I mean, I talk about this all the time. There's a lot of great women on the roster, and I don't know.
Shauna.
I'm getting too much like Shauna. Yeah, like we're getting too much Nyla, but I get it. Like, we're probably pushing towards number one contender, and that's probably what we're going to get at Revolution. Do you think she's going to, if that's the case, do you think that's going to take the belt off Rio?
If they are going to, you have to. I don't want to see Nyla and Riho go at it again.
Yeah.
Like, take the belt off finally and then push something else going forward. So, speaking of Penelope, we had Kip Sabian with Penelope come out or face off against Cody, and he came out with Arn. Clever spot in this match that I really liked, and it was the spot where they used Penelope like being quote unquote knocked out as a way to distract Cody. That whole spot was I love that whole spot. I thought this match was very, very well done with the use of the valets. I thought both of them. This was a match where the valets made sense because they got involved in the match and they were a key factor for this match. Because it was a very, very entertaining match. And
no, it was good.
With the whole Arn getting kicked out kind of thing by throwing her shoe into the crowd and pushing the ref. And then the whole Kip and Penelope like going to kiss each other, and Janela just stuck his head at like the perfect time.
Yeah.
That was so good.
But I'm saying in this match, it made sense. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we're getting a little too much valets, where the valets are interfering and things like that. But in this story,
this was good. I enjoyed every part of this.
It was great. Yeah, it was very great.
It was a very good match. Even the rest of the match was really good. Cody with like 3 awesome crossroads, like one right after the other. Like those were insane. Like I didn't think he was going for 3. I'm like, oh my god. He made sure Kip was out. And then that's how he won the match. And then we guess what Tiff said earlier, we saw during the picture-in-picture, he made his way through the crowd taking pictures and taking the time to do autographs and stuff. And he had the pictures where he's holding kids and really, really humble kind of thing. So this was really good. I really, really enjoyed this.
There was another part, I don't know, also if you saw on Twitter as well, with Brandon Cutler footage, he posted that this was what it was all about, that the kid came in the ring and Cody was like, oh, if you pin Brandon Cutler, then you get his boots and everything. So, like, I love seeing that. I really do. It's getting involved, giving, like, I seen even like fans, like somebody tweeted that somebody threw a shirt and it was like a Young Buck shirt as well. It's such an awesome thing. David asked in chat, they said Nyla is #1 contender for women's title, but Britt's talking about Rio.
Britt's been talking about
Rio
in her promos. I don't know what they're doing with her. I think right now they're just trying to transition her into a heel. That's going to be a build for a heel. It's not just something you're going to push towards title shot right away. I know it would generate heat in a way, but I don't know. I feel like I can't really tell what they're going to do with the women's championship at Revolution. I feel like right now they're just kind of playing it by week until they kind of figure it out. Like, we only have 1 match announced for Revolution. I'm sure in the next 2 weeks we're going to get more matches announced. So I'm assuming by next week or the week after we're going to get a clear picture of what we're going to get at Revolution. So I'm going to assume it's probably going to be just one-on-one Riho and Nyla, and then they're going to build from that to Double or Nothing 2 or whatever they're going to call it.
I think, like, if anything, Britt interferes.
Yeah.
Like, there could be a lot of things that they keep the belt on Rio. Britt interferes, that it starts a feud with her and Nyla. Like, because of the fact that it's still all new, there's so many possibilities.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
And speaking of Britt, she had an interview with Tony Schiavone on the stage. I was hoping for better things after what we got last week, because last week was probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. She says AEW was trending last week, not because of AEW being on the ship, but because of her. And her alone made AEW trend. Then she started ripping into JR for interrupting her promo last week and making it go to commercial break. And she just absolutely just rips JR about everything and saying, like, it's her division and, everyone in the division has to go through her. She cuts more of like a heelish promo. And she ends it off with this. I love this part of the promo because I got the reference. So she ends up by telling Cleveland that they finally have a Baker that they can be proud in. And then she's referring to the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, who actually has been a disappointment for them. So she kind of played off the reference there to get some more heat. So it was better than last week. It's still coming off green, kind of like she still has some work to do, but at least it was better than last week.
It was funny because me personally, like, I didn't like it. All right.
It was better than last week. Last week was horrible. I don't know what the hell happened last week. I don't know what that was.
That's your opinion. You
thought it was good last week? You thought last week was better than this week?
No, absolutely not. I'm just like...
That's all I'm saying. It was better than last week.
I think between the both of it was awful. Between both of them, she needs more work. But I was really curious because I was talking to multiple people while I was watching this, and like I was getting mixed reviews. So I put a tweet out, and I was like, "What did you guys think?" There was a lot of people that liked it. A lot. I'm shocked.
You should like it, Twit. Come on, Tiff. Like it. Get on board. Get your teeth brushed.
I have a toothbrush.
I know.
Great.
I'm just saying.
To have it.
According to her, we need our teeth brushed.
She needs more work.
Work. Get that work.
work.
Oh no. Wow. Anywho, Rihu.
Anyway, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna trash it. I hope. That's all I can say. It wasn't my favorite. I hope for the division that it just gets better.
I'm sure it will.
So, but of course too, like I think somebody had said it, like she's only been doing this for a couple of years, wrestling and stuff. So, and especially you have to factor this as well. A lot of these guys aren't used to TV time. So I'm sure that makes people nervous because she looked nervous like last week more than this week.
Yeah.
So that's probably has to do with it as well. I mean, I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do it. I go and do commentary on a show, and I couldn't even do that. So you know what?
Tiff.
I give props. So, but anyway, I mean, again, like, you know, to each your own. So, like I said, I hope it just gets better. So, fingers crossed. Anywho, Ryu.
So yeah, we were back in the locker room with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. They get interviewed. Young Bucks talk about their goal of climbing that ladder back up and eventually maybe getting a tag team title shot. And he says, no offense to Kenny. Then the Hangman comes like, oh yeah, no offense, eh? And he acting all belligerent. And he brags about them getting their nameplates on the titles. He's like, yeah, Matt Nick, I got you something. And he hands them their nameplates because you might need it one day. Oh man, Kenny, and then he just walks away. Just Hangman throwing shade at the Young Bucks, and then Kenny says that they booked them an 8-man tag match next week, and the Elite's gonna come back together. We're gonna work things out, and we're gonna be the Elite again, and then they're gonna face off against the Butcher and Blade and the team of their choosing. We later find out that they choose the Lucha Brothers, so gonna be exciting to see what happens in that 4-man tag next week.
Oh my god, I can't because this drives me crazy. So I'm gonna go into like a freaking rant because this has been going on like for freaking
what?
With me. No, I hate that it's like do not compare AEW to WWE. I understand what Jimmy say that he say that this is the up that WWE has, the fact that they have NXT so that they can go and work on their craft. Okay, WWE's been around how long? This is the argument that I was having with our friend Ben the other day.
Okay.
I was like, you cannot compare. You cannot compare. AEW is brand new, and I'm going to say this like this, that AEW has been around since October. So they're working on everything. You cannot compare. It's two different companies. It drives me crazy when people
being an alternative. They're not being the same.
Oh my God. It like literally like I was having a debate at somebody's house the other day, and I'm like, this drives me crazy. You know, like
Did
do
people
not
forget
compare.
what they've said? Like they said they're not trying to be the same. They're being the alternative. And obviously, a new company is not going to be perfect out of the gate. Like,
No,
WWE wasn't perfect out of the gate. It took them years to perfect their craft.
Guys, once a week. You can't compare for a company that's been around for like over 40 years or whatever it is that WWE's been around up against a new company that just started like October. I say October because that's when it first aired on TV. Mm-hmm. I'm not comparing the pay-per-views. If we go all the way back to January of last year. That's my only thing that I always say, and that's given me me not comparing has given me an open mind to other stuff as well. But okay, I'm just saying.
They'll get it. Anyways,
I'm sorry, I'm not mad. I just wanted to make my point across.
Rant over. So we have SCU of Kazarian and Scorpio Sky facing off against the Hybrid 2. I even forgot this was even a match. I don't know if this was announced. I totally forgot about this match.
Yeah.
But SCU paid tribute to Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant, with those jerseys and the Lakers colors, which is really nice to see. Man, Hybrid 2 are actually like very good. Like I actually love their chemistry. I love that they can work with pretty much everybody. I agree with like what they brought up on commentary. They brought up like they were saying that they're an underrated team, and I think they are. Like they're actually very good, and I don't think enough people give them the time of day because of probably the way they look and that they don't get pushed out necessarily the most. They're just used as a filler, but I think they're very, very good. And if you really watch them closely, they're very good at what they do in the ring. And you saw how good they were with SCU in this match. It's a very good match. There's a lot of offensive tag moves throughout it. Even though SCU ended up picking the win with the SCU later. And then we had what we had with the Dark Order appearing on screen and cutting a promo on Christopher Daniels saying the Exalted One is unhappy with him not joining the Dark Order, and says that they're going to target his friends and family for him not joining. So the Dark Order targeting Christopher Daniels. And the Exalted One is not happy with him. Whoever this Exalted One is.
You know somebody's going over to join the Dark Order. It's, I love how they're targeting. You got
what if
Brandon.
Christopher Daniels is the Exalted
No
One?
way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Makes you think. No.
No way.
But
No
they're targeting
way.
him. And they're going to target his friends and family for what he did. And we had a really, really cool vignette for Pac. Very well done in like this like shady place with the steps.
I love that. It was
Yeah.
great. It was creepy. And it was awesome. It made him look really strong. It's like, give me more.
And he was
Give me
talking
more.
about Moxley, and he brings up Omega and says that next week Omega, he's coming for blood. Or come for blood. He's coming for blood. So interesting. So they have so Kenny's kind of getting it is torn apart here. He has to focus on trying to keep the Elite together, but then he's got Pac on his ass. So Pac's
What do you think?
Kenny's busy.
What do you think at Revolution that we get him and Pac, and then he has to also defend the tag
Gets a
team
double.
title?
I think Kenny's probably gonna have double duty.
Yeah.
I can see him getting double duty.
Like, I really do. That that Pac's gonna, maybe he'll cost them. No, or something that's gonna interfere during. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I feel like you said, I feel like it's gonna be a double duty.
Yeah. And then they announced that Cody's gonna get his 10 lashes next week, and then Moxley and Ortiz, Baker and Yokozuna, I forget her freaking last name. Then Butcher and the Blade chose the Lucha Brothers to face the Elite, and then we get our main event of the night.
Wait, can I just say how proud? Okay,
how proud and powerful.
For those guys, okay, my boys, all right, Private Party and Ortiz and Santana. I am, oh my god, I'm so I put that tweet out how proud I am of them. That their main event. Here's these 4 guys from New York main evented Dynamite last night. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah,
so
HOG
excited.
alumni.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's I was marking out last night. I'm so proud of them. This is such great guys.
So we had Private Party and Darby Allin facing off against Chris Jericho and Santana and Ortiz. Crowd singing Jericho's theme again, which was cool to see. I love that. I love that's been a continuing thing now for 2 weeks in a row. Sammy G and Jake Hagar joining the Inner Circle at ringside. I thought it was a decent match. Darby and Private Party looked very good. Lots of intense endings near the end with Jericho hitting the Judas effect on our boy Isaiah, sadly, for the win. Isaiah selling it, though, with that arm twitch, which was really great. He was like, his arm was like convulsing after, so it was a really good sell.
I saw Gangone even put it out. He goes, it's the little things. And he circled Isaiah with the hand. It's true, though.
Yeah, but it was a really good match. Like, I thought everyone did pretty good in this match. Again, Private Party did really good. Darby is a complete star. He's just so over with the crowd. It's incredible at each and every single week.
Did I say it? I think I'm always going to say like he was going to be huge.
And,
so good.
Inner Circle started celebrating, but then go back into the ring to beat down on Private Party, and they pick out Darby, obviously being the fan favorite, and just try to destroy him. Moxley comes out for the save and then beats everybody with that baseball bat, and has a stare down with Jericho on the top turnbuckle and points at him with the bat to end the show. And we got some further just intensity with Jericho and this Jericho and Moxley build that we're getting to Revolution. We're sure to get more as the weeks go on. And if we gotten this much out of this feud so far, I cannot wait to see what they do for the next couple of weeks building this main event, because that main event match I'm already excited for it. I want to see it already, and I can't wait for it anymore. So that just shows you how good this main event is going to be. And oh man, I want to say that it's going to be the christening of Moxley, but something in my gut is telling me we're not going to get it yet. And that Jericho is somehow going to retain, and this is not going to be the end of Le Champion's reign. I'll have to wait to see what happens in the next couple of weeks to finally make my decision when we get to the prediction show. So I got this weird thing in my gut telling me that this is not going to be the end.
They built him for months to be freaking strong, and it's like he's not going to take that pin clean.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting. It's probably going to be like sorry, I don't mean to swear, but they call it in wrestling a fuck finish.
No swearing.
Yeah, sorry, I had to say it, but that's what the term is, and they use in wrestling that kind of finish, where it's like a double, like both their shoulders were down, or there was a tap out at the same time that there was a pin. You know what I mean? Like it was a mess up finish. Fine, say that, a messed up finish. I don't know. That's just in my gut. Something's telling me it might happen. But craziness with that storyline, the Cody and MJF storyline is a match I'm going to be looking forward to because we know what's going to happen at Revolution, and we know that's going to be a really good match. It's going to be a very, very intense match and a lot of emotions going into that match. With this is still to come, Tiff. The first ever AEW cage match is still to come in a couple of weeks on February 19th. The Atlanta, Georgia episode of AEW Dynamite is going to have the steel cage match with Wardlow and Cody Rhodes, the first ever AEW steel cage match. So it's going to be interesting to see what the cage. I'm interested to see what the cage actually looks like. I'm very, very intrigued. And that storyline, there's that storyline. We have the Hangman and the Elite storyline. We have whatever the woman's title is going to be going into that one. It's shaping up to be a really good pay-per-view, and whatever else goes into that, maybe something to do with the Dark Order or something with that as well. So I thought it was a decent, easy flowing episode of Dynamite this week. Next week, sure to be very action-packed and hopefully have a similar flow. But it does look like there's always going to be some sort of mistake. Wrestling shows aren't perfect. Raw and SmackDown aren't perfect, for Christ's sake. I know people pick out every little thing that goes wrong. Like, why can't we just watch the damn show? But it looks like they're adjusting well into 2020 here, and I'm excited. Can't wait for next week.
Yes, give me more. Give me my pay-per-view. I'm ready.
Was there Being the Elite this week?
There was.
I feel like I watched it, but I don't remember it quite well.
It was mostly like footage of the Jericho cruise.
Okay, I didn't watch it then.
Things of like matches and eating hibachi, casino scenes, Fozzy.
Okay, so it was more like a vlogish episode.
Yeah. I mean, the only like thing that we could talk about was that Paige in the end. He was laying in the bed and he like woke up. He said that he was feeling like shit and that he said something that he tried to quit the Elite.
Oh.
And then he was hungover or whatever like that. He had to do a 10:30 a.m. meet and greet. So that was pretty interesting. We saw stuff like that. But no, I mean, mostly it was like a lot of things like that. Oh, another thing was Nick. That he said that everybody wanted the merch freak and that he was walking on the water. In the so like that. Like there was also the join the Dark Order and then like looking out the window. So it wasn't a big. I think it was like a 10-minute vlog. It wasn't
not that much. We'll probably get more of this coming week.
Yeah. So but yeah, I mean that was pretty much like I mean that's pretty much I think of all like our AEW stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to see because we know there's going to be a big twist with the whole Hangman thing. We know that's probably going to be the payoff with that when it's finally concluded. The storyline is there's going to be this big twist. It's not just going to be Hangman leaving the Elite. That's just too simple. There's going to be something bigger. There's got to be something bigger for them to put this much stock in it. So
I like Brad's theory that he thinks that they all turn heel.
Oh,
not that everybody else turns heel.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool.
It would be interesting, but I think we have too much, heel faction going.
And we got nothing with the Nightmare Collective this week.
Thank God.
I don't know if they're gonna try to kind of retool that, but we had nothing like no vignette or anything. So interesting to see what that goes on with that.
I know we don't talk about views or anything like that, but I don't know if you saw, but I noticed somebody had put, it might have been Kyle, the other Kyle, that they put
Kyle.
Yeah, I think there was like a tweet out. They were showing the Dark
# list of Kyles. Yeah.
The list of Kyles. That they were showing AEW Dark the views. How it started out like 1 million, and then like when we got to there last week, it was only 200,000 views.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like gone down big time.
Well, speaking of him, he did tweet out what the dark matches were this week that we're going to get next Tuesday. We have Sunny Kiss and Brandon Cutler versus Jurassic Express of Marco and Jungle Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Hikaru Shida is going to face off against Mel from the Nightmare Collective. So there was the Nightmare Collective. They're on dark. And Sean Spears and Colin Delaney were facing off against the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy at ringside.
Yeah.
So that looks like an exciting dark episode.
Yeah.
Looks all right. I'll tune in next week.
He didn't get it at all in the ring this week.
Yeah.
I was sad. Poor Brandon Cutler.
That's okay. Color footage.
Cutler footage. We still love our boy Cutler footage. I got mad at somebody the other day because they were trashing Cutler, and I got really defensive.
Sorry, he's our boy. We have to. This is
our
what we
boy.
do.
Love Brandon Cutler, and we love his wife. But
other than that, guys.
Well, I was since before you go into like you wrap up our show or whatever. So I talked about it on Indie Talks because a lot of things are coming to the No Holds Barred network. It's really been exciting. So if you watched Indie Talks, I made an announcement that February 22nd the network is going to be in Nutley, New Jersey. I'm going to be doing like live podcasts. So I'm probably you're going to see a lot of interviews with wrestlers before the matches, even after, even like literally them coming out of the ring because they're going to come sit with me. I'm going to show some clips of the matches because I can't show full matches, but I'm allowed to do some clips. And I think I'm allowed to do commentary with Ray during Gangon's match.
Okay.
I don't know if Gangon's wrestling.
Oh.
It's on his own. It doesn't matter. It's number 2. He moved up.
Oh.
Backed up to number 2. So that's February 22nd. And also the network is throwing a party with heel pops and chair shots.
Woo!
At Synergy Wrestling.
Shout-outs.
March 28th. I'm excited about that. There's going to be a lot of raffles. We're doing it for Autism Awareness Month for April. So yeah, a lot of great things. So make sure you're following us. Network, everything, because there's going to be a lot of footage. We're going to have wrestlers played themselves in video games. There's going to be a lot of interviews and God knows what else. So
awesome. All I was going to say is I'm thinking of doing a plan with the tweet of the nights, guys. So make sure you are participating on the tweet of the night tweets and getting your chance to win, because I'm probably going to do something maybe by Double or Nothing. I'm going to do a draw with all the tweet of the night winners for a cool AEW prize. I'm thinking of doing that. So just to get some more interaction with the tweet of the night, guys, you guys make sure you interact with that, and then hopefully you get chosen to win and you'll be put into a draw later. So I'm thinking about doing that. So keep an eye out for that after every single episode of Dynamite, we put that tweet out. So take a look, guys. So congratulations to our winners so far. Other than that, guys, like I said, we're going to wrap this up. Follow us on social media. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook at All Elite Podcast, and the Insta at All Elite Pod. And thank you for everyone that's watching live on YouTube or watching back on YouTube. But if you want to take us on the go, the network, and especially this podcast, is available on the go on such platforms like Spotify, Google and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Player FM, Overcast, Podcast, or Pocket Cast, Deezer. There's a lot of stuff. Castbox that we are available on. Wherever you are finding your on-the-go podcast, make sure you're looking up the No Holds Barred Network, and you can find this All Elite podcast on there. We have a great T-shirt store, guys, available right now, with all proceeds from the T-shirt store being donated straight to Culture City. And most importantly, an awesome T-shirt on there from These Wolves. The These Wolves Music for the Elite T-shirt is on there for you to buy, and all proceeds are donated right to Culture City, the charity that is a nonprofit dedicated to fight for inclusion and acceptance of all individuals regardless of their unique abilities, and they are also partnered with All Elite Wrestling. And shout outs to These Wolves each and every single week on this podcast for letting us use the song Dead to Me and a bunch of other songs with a lot of other shows on the network. Thank you, Darren and These Wolves. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much every single week, guys. Go give them a follow and listen to their stuff. Really good stuff there. So, anywho, Rehue. No, that's got to be the beginning.
I forgot, so I'm doing it now.
56 minutes in. It's already too late. Anywho. It's probably going to wrap it up for this week, guys. Not next week, but the week after. I'm not sure. I'm going to be on like a mini staycation / vacation going up to visit my mother. I'm not sure when we're going to have an episode for that. But, yeah, hopefully to see you guys back here on the All Elite Podcast next week, right here on YouTube, youtube.com/the No Holds Bar Network. Make sure you're following the No Holds Bar Network, guys, at NHB Network on Twitter, following myself at Real Kyle Masters, following my co-host at Loves to Dream 82 on Twitter. So that's going to pretty much wrap this up for the All Elite Podcast, episode number 66, right here on the No Holds Bar Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I am your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host on this podcast. She is the queen of the indies, the heartbreak chick. What's your third one again?
The EVP of Giggles.
The EVP of Giggles, that's it. Sorry, you laughed loud. Should have remembered that. She's Tiffany. That's going to wrap it up, guys. See you guys next time.
I don't know.